key. The filings reveal disturbing financial irregularities, okay, with Jermaine Sherman. That's how he files it. He doesn't file it under Dr. Umar Sherman. It's Jermaine. Okay?
The rumors about Dr. Umar Johnson allegedly being arrested, all because he been scamming and scheming for the past 20 years. He been working on building the school, but he acquired millions and the school's still not up and running.
It's Jermaine.
They told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. They had no record of my account.
So the FBI has officially come down hard on Dr. Umar's operation with a new round of federal charges that could keep him behind bars for decades. We're talking RICO charges, tax fraud, and wire fraud. The kind of accusations that can turn someone's entire life upside down in an instant. What's more, the feds claim they've secured direct evidence linking these crimes to the donations collected under the guise of building his long-promised school. Reports say Dr. Umar is scrambling. Behind the scenes, and this isn't the type of situation a passionate speech or fiery live stream can fix. Online conversations are exploding with one central question. Is Dr. Umar genuinely running a scam, or is he being framed as the scapegoat in a much larger scheme? Before we explore the actual charges in detail, let's rewind to the moment he realized he was facing serious legal trouble. Because what happened next was anything but ordinary.
Dr. Umar is not a real person that anybody should be taking any advice from. I hope that we all understand that, but it seems like some folks are
Eyewitnesses say Dr. Umar did not handle the situation calmly. In fact, he quickly jumped on Instagram Live and delivered one of his most unhinged rants to date. He shouted about how the system constantly targets innocent black men who are simply trying to uplift their communities. Now, while his longtime followers are used to hearing him speak this way, this particular moment felt different. He looked visibly distressed, sweating, stammering, pacing, like someone whose entire reality had just been turned upside down. Gone was the usual commanding energy. Instead, he seemed like a man trying to process a personal crisis in real time. He then launched into a panicked rant about his bank accounts being frozen. And now we understand exactly why. Those very accounts are reportedly central to the federal fraud investigation, which may result in serious prison time if the charges stick. At the time, no one quite understood what was unfolding. But it later emerged that he recorded that video just moments after federal agents ordered him to turn himself in. If you go back and rewatch the clip, you can actually pinpoint the moment when the gravity of the situation fully hit him. The realization that his entire organization was on the verge of collapse. Sources close to the matter confirm that Dr. Umar eventually did comply and surrendered himself to federal authorities.
Access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my Pay.
But not before attempting to control the story himself. According to reports, Dr. Umar instructed his close inner circle to keep everything quiet. No media, no photos, no official comments, and no press coverage. His goal was to make it appear as if nothing was going on, likely hoping the issue would quietly disappear. The concern was clear. If the public saw him in handcuffs, his carefully maintained image as a respected community figure could quickly unravel. But things didn't go as planned. What Dr. Umar likely didn't anticipate was the federal government releasing major documents of their own. And these weren't ordinary files. They were the kind that could cause lasting damage to his public reputation. Just as he was trying to keep his arrest and the RICO case under wraps, Tasha K entered the scene with her usual bold presence. In a recent YouTube video, she heavily criticized Dr. Umar's entire operation, and she came with detailed receipts. She exposed what she claimed were the real activities behind his so-called charitable foundation, and her claims sparked serious conversation. Tasha began by revisiting the years-long saga surrounding the school Dr. Umar has been promising to build. And that's where it gets critical, because the FBI's indictment specifically names the missing donations for that school as core evidence in both the fraud and racketeering charges. This wasn't mere online speculation. Tasha K presented documents, numbers, and specific names, making it difficult to dismiss the claims. In her analysis, she alleged that Dr. Umar had been quietly misusing the donated funds for personal expenses while avoiding financial transparency. She also said he intentionally failed to maintain proper donation records, likely to avoid paying taxes, and that, she argued, is what triggered the federal investigation. According to her, the financial evidence tells a much clearer story than any of his public statements, and it paints a very troubling picture.
Africanism, brothers and sisters, I'm back again. While I was on the live, the children had snuck into the school, which means they knew the door was unlocked. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. For children to know that a door is opened, and I was only away from the school for 30 days.
To provide some background, Dr. Umar has been collecting funds for this school project for several years. And it's important to note, he didn't have any personal savings invested in the plan. Every dollar was raised directly from the public. Yet, despite all the attention the project has received, he has never provided clear information about how much money was collected or how it was spent. Instead, he frequently appears on camera urging African Americans to walk away from the public school system and invest in his vision. But according to the documents shared by Tasha, that vision appears less like a promising future and more like a financial black hole. Many people have openly called the school effort what it seems to be, a scam. Even the school's name raised concerns. Dr. Umar has consistently claimed to be a descendant of Frederick Douglass. But there's a catch. He has never offered proof, and the actual Douglass family has never publicly acknowledged any relation. That alone led many to question his credibility from the beginning. Still, not everyone felt that way.
To IRS Form 990. The filings reveal disturbing financial irregularities, okay, with Jermaine Shermock. That's how he files it. He doesn't file it under Dr. Umar Shermock. It's Jermaine, okay? Now, the nonprofit shows assets of $634,436 as of 2024. This is what he's saying that he raised. This is what he reported.
Many hopeful donors, eager to see a better future for their children, gave generously to the project. But after years of pledges and announcements, the school has yet to open its doors. Every time an opening date nears, an unexpected issue seems to arise. Some chalk it up to bad luck. Others, especially critics, are now suggesting that Umar himself may be intentionally causing these delays. Prosecutors have even pointed to this pattern as evidence that he may be using the setbacks to cover up financial discrepancies. In the most recent case, Umar reported in June that the school had been vandalized, claiming that the library's cultural artifacts and educational materials were destroyed. It sounded serious. But here's where things start to unravel. The building itself remained structurally sound. There was nothing physically preventing the school from opening, aside from damage that appeared just significant enough to justify another delay. To reinforce his story, Dr. Umar recorded himself questioning a group of kids on camera, implying they were responsible for the alleged vandalism. However, there was immediate backlash, as he posted the video online without securing permission from the children's parents. That decision sparked a wave of criticism on its own. Authorities didn't find any solid evidence related to the incident, and the only thing the public had to go on was a short, shaky video clip. Realistically, it didn't show the kind of damage that would justify postponing a school opening for an entire year. People quickly noticed the inconsistencies. One viral comment summed up the public sentiment. Where's the actual proof of vandalism? Were you insured? Why haven't you posted even one clear photo of the damage? Or is the real act of vandalism this entire project? Others echoed the same concerns.
Okay, now you know he go begging inside of that car without a haircut every other day or on the side of the building in which he lives in, because they say his house is right there on a row house in Philadelphia somewhere, okay? According to the IRS filings, this is inconsistent reporting of contributions, okay? Now, while official filings show that only $321,408 in total contributions over the last 5 years, evidence suggests Johnson raised significantly more through other
Another commenter pointed out serious flaws in Umar's explanation about his bank accounts being frozen, especially for those with any understanding of how banking systems operate. The online community wasn't convinced, and doubt began spreading rapidly across platforms. Then, just a few weeks later, the truth behind the school delay and the so-called vandalism was finally revealed. This time, Dr. Umar couldn't control the narrative. According to multiple reports, the delay had nothing to do with damaged supplies or broken furniture. The real reason? Umar had failed to pay vacant property registration fees and utility bills for several months. That's right, the real problem with the building wasn't vandalism. It was a growing stack of unpaid bills. And it didn't stop there. Sources confirmed the property was at risk of being auctioned off. By August 25, 2025, if Dr. Umar didn't come up with the necessary funds, the very building he had promoted as his future school would be lost. Once news of the overdue payments went public, Dr. Umar quickly shifted into defense mode. He claimed the charges were unfair, calling them punitive and discriminatory, designed specifically to shut down his school. Then, staying true to his usual approach, he reframed the issue as part of a broader conspiracy. Positioning himself as the victim, he appealed to his followers once again for donations, saying it was a fight to protect his vision and stand against a biased system. But according to Tasha K., it wasn't about saving the school. It was a move to stall for time and avoid legal consequences. And if you thought her earlier claims were serious, what came next took things even further.
Me campaigns, all right, that he's been suspended from through 2014 and 2015 of over $400,000 raised before the account suspension. That's a lot of money for GoFundMe, okay? PayPal donations, approximately $125,000 documented. Speaking fees and direct donations, estimated $750,000. This man raised all this money and ain't got a haircut yet.
For children to know that the door was open and I was only away from the school for 30 days. For children to know the door was open and I was only away from the school for 30 days. I wonder when they broke in. I wonder when they broke in, because if the children already know the door was open.
Total estimated funds, 1.6 to 2 million that they can account for. And this is with them digging. They've been on this, okay? And we're going to talk about how much they've been on it. And that's the reason why that damn school is on the auction block right now. Vacant school that never opened. And he promised to open it in 2013 and kept pushing back the opening date and blamed us, well, not me, y'all, if y'all donated, as to why it can't open, because black people can't stick together, okay? Even though he was running it like a mom.
That's because leaked federal documents brought even more scrutiny. And this time, it wasn't just about the school fund. The reports placed Dr. Umar's entire PayPal activity under the spotlight. According to the findings, he allegedly collected over $1.5 million in donations through platforms like GoFundMe and PayPal, linked to a variety of charitable causes. The school project was only a part of the story. Over the years, Dr. Umar has promoted several community-focused initiatives, claiming they would benefit Black families nationwide. But here's the issue. There's little to no visible outcome from any of those campaigns. The donations came in significant amounts, but there's almost no measurable progress or tangible results to point to. And, as many have noticed, every time questions about transparency arise, Dr. Umar returns to social media with another passionate video, but still avoids providing clear answers.
And Umar Johnson, and I don't know what's going on with his school, but I know that
you know what's going on with the school that ain't been built. Shit, ain't nobody seen the classroom. Just seen the flag hanging out, flying in front of.
They've been talking about it for 15 years, 16 years, or something like that.
Yeah. He been lying. And results is everything.
Yeah.
Results is everything. I ain't never built nothing begging, other than Joel Osteen. But his daddy passed him to church.
Yeah, that is true.
His daddy passed. I ain't never seen him build nothing.
Charleston pointed to specific figures, highlighting that Umar raised over $400 through GoFundMe in 2014 and 2015 before the account was suspended. In addition, PayPal records reportedly show about $125,000 in donations, while estimated earnings from speaking engagements and direct contributions amount to around $750,000. Charleston added a sharp remark, saying Umar collected all that money and still hasn't gotten a haircut. He accused Umar of presenting himself as a protector and ally, while in reality, using that image to gain support, particularly from women, and convert it into personal profit. And to be fair, many critics found that assessment credible. Dr. Umar has long positioned himself as a champion for Black women, often criticizing public figures like Jonathan Majors for dating outside the community. But here's where the contradiction lies. When women began to question him about his financial transparency or project delays, he often responded with defensiveness and personal attacks. That double standard caught people's attention, and not just from outsiders. The criticism has grown louder, and this time, it's coming from within his own base. Some of his previous supporters, people who once stood firmly behind him, are starting to distance themselves. They've stopped donating, unfollowed his platforms, and are now openly asking for accountability. So far, he has yet to provide clear answers. Others have now come forward, openly calling Dr. Umar a fraud and saying it's time for the community to stop shielding him from accountability. But the most unexpected shift came from someone once firmly in his corner. The real surprise came from none other than Umar's longtime friend and former ally, Tariq Nasheed. He recently appeared in an interview with DJ Vlad, and he didn't hold back. When asked about Umar's recent actions, Tariq admitted that in the beginning, he genuinely believed in the school project. That admission alone was striking, because if even Umar's closest supporters are now aligning with the federal allegations, it raises serious questions about the true intent behind the entire effort. Tariq revealed that he had personally contributed a significant amount of money, genuinely believing in the vision of a Pan-African educational institution for the community. Initially, it sounded like a promising and empowering idea, something people could unite around. But over time, Tariq said that faith began to fade. He explained how Dr. Umar shifted focus toward gaining attention, stirring up social media drama, and promoting conspiracy theories instead of staying committed to the school's purpose. That change in direction was the first warning sign. Then came the breaking point, a falling out between the two. Tariq shared that he had tried to help Umar refocus, encouraging him to return to the original mission and stay disciplined. But instead of taking the advice, Umar leaned further into controversy and distraction. During the interview, it was clear Tariq was grappling with a tough realization. Someone he had once respected and supported was now showing signs of being untrustworthy, unfocused, and potentially manipulative. But this is where things took a more serious turn. Tariq suggested that Umar's issues weren't just self-inflicted. According to him, Umar had been on the FBI's radar for years without even realizing it. And surprisingly, the first major red flag that drew federal attention had nothing to do with money. It dates back to 2018, when the state psychology board accused Dr. Umar of practicing without a valid license. That wasn't just a personal setback. It created a pattern that prosecutors now cite as part of a long history of deceptive behavior. As expected, Umar denied the allegations and claimed he was being unfairly targeted. He turned to his usual defense, framing the situation as another attempt to bring him down through a broader conspiracy. He also complained publicly that his Facebook and GoFundMe accounts had been suspended without explanation, using those incidents as examples to rally sympathy and support, and for a time it worked. Many followers continued to defend him and dismiss the criticism, but the evidence painted a very different picture. Dozens of online videos show Dr. Umar presenting himself as a trained psychologist, using technical language and psychological references to build credibility and gain trust from his audience. That expert image became a key part of his fundraising strategy. To further reinforce that persona, he even self-published a book titled Psychoacademic Holocaust: The Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys. He promoted it as both a guide for the community and proof of his qualifications. But it also served another purpose: to keep donations coming in. In the book, Umar argued that learning disabilities and mental health diagnoses were being misused in Black communities as a form of systemic control. However, just a few years later, he contradicted that message by posting a video where he dismissed ADHD and mental illness altogether, claiming they weren't real. That contradiction raised serious concerns. How can someone present themselves as a psychological expert one moment and then completely dismiss the legitimacy of the field the next? It didn't just make Dr. Umar seem inconsistent, it suggested he might be involved in activities that could ultimately harm the very community he claimed to uplift. When federal investigators finally got involved, they began to examine every part of his operation, and what they uncovered was far from reassuring. From the questionable academy and frozen bank accounts to suspicious fundraising tactics and unsupported psychology, credentials. Every element seemed to expose a person who wasn't who he claimed to be. What Dr. Umar may have believed were long buried. Issues have now become key evidence in a federal case. And here's what's getting people's attention. This time, the authorities aren't stepping back. Support from his followers is fading fast, and documented evidence continues to surface. Unless something unexpected changes the course, it looks like Dr. Umar won't be returning to his so-called Pan-African Academy to deliver celebratory speeches. Instead, he's headed to court, facing the consequences of an empire that appears to be falling apart. So, what's your take? Was Dr. Umar running one of the biggest scams the community has seen in recent years, or was he unfairly targeted? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe, because what's coming next in our community is only getting more unpredictable.